Please ask Greg what set of books he uses to teach his kids. You mentioned it before. I thought I saved it, but can't find it. Sorry. I
Yeah.
saw your DM, by the way.
I'm all over the map on that. I think I've purchased everything that I can. I've kind of done a deep dive on various curricula.
What's the
And
critical thinking one, though, they're talking
the
about?
critical thinking companies stuff I like best. And if I had to go with a publisher and use only their material, that's exactly what it would be. Critical thinking company. And what I like about their material, a lot of it's really creative. In fact, some of my favorite is by this guy. And I got two books of his that are kind of cool right here.
Geez, they have everything, man. Join our global community of critical thinkers, 70,000 schools, 120 countries, 36 million students.
Hey, I got all that early reader stuff that my dad and I all got, my little red storybook. But Understanding Fractions and Funtime Phonics are both written by this Robert Femiano, and he's a gifted educator. His approach to fraction education is really good, and his phonics is powerful too. But the publisher, the Critical Thinking Company, we got our hands on everything they've printed, and it's hundreds of books, and they're all outstanding. And so if you didn't know the material or what you wanted to teach quite, or you really need that backup, and I think most people would and do, I would just buy their catalog. And what did it cost? Like $2,000, something like that, Sevi?
Yeah, I want
to
say
get
that.
everything.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Now, what there is, the Critical Thinking Company, everything is skill-based. So you're learning how to do things, right?
Yes.
The reading comprehension material is outstanding. All their stuff, that's an amazing company. I flirted with buying them.
I remember that. I remember that.
I just don't want to get, the more I pester them about it, the higher the price goes, right?
Right. Hey, I want to read something to you. Do you have time?
Well, I just want, yeah, I do. But I want to add this to that. Please. About the Critical Thinking Company. All of their material, it's all skill based, and so my thought is, and I kind of put skills on a x-axis and knowledge on a y-axis, and it seems to me that people kind of get pegged to the ordinate or the abscissa oddly. Like there's the Jeopardy champion, and they don't seem to have reasoning skills. And then there's the mathematician that doesn't know what state he lives in. You can be absent-minded but high skilled and precocious as hell, but no thinking ability. And what I'm doing is we're just teaching skills, and then I contextualize them against facts. And so you need to be able to read and write about anything. But that requires you read and write what? And so the Western canon is how I contextualize it. And all these math, qualitative and quantitative skills contextualize in applied sciences. And so we're learning things through the skills we're acquiring, and the emphasis is on skill above everything else.
And you don't have to be homeschooling your kid to get those books. You can get one or two of those books and sit down at breakfast with them. What I would recommend also is get something that is going to be easy for them below their skill level, especially if your kid's already in school, and sit down with them and make the first book a slam dunk. Do a few pages a day, just sitting at the table. One of the things I was talking with Greg about is I had this kindergarten math book.
Yeah, balance math.
And I went through it with my kid that it was way too easy for him, but I made it a reading book. He didn't know that I was teaching him to read. He thought we were doing math. He even said to me, he's like, "Is this retard math?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, thanks. This is easy." But he didn't know we went through the whole book, but it was just, I was tricking him just to read all the instructions and learn how to follow instructions. And so there's tons of ways to skin a cat, and don't not get those books if you're not homeschooling your kids. Still get one, make it fun for them, reward them, pat them on the back, celebrate all his successes.
On the back of them, they have some of the titles. And what I would do is pick anything that seemed interesting to you, share it with your kid, work your way through it, and then I would get another one from the same company, and I would make it on a entirely different field. So I'd try and roll between the qualitative and quantitative language skills and computational skills, and you won't go wrong. You can't miss. But their reading comprehension stuff, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be really, really tough. Really tough.
It's even tough for me when they're doing the reading comprehension stuff. They're like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh God, I got to read this like 4 times before I can even answer this question."
Like, this is wrong. Why wouldn't it be the white kitten? And I'm reading and I go, "Oh shit!"
Right.
Okay, how am I going to explain this to you? You know, I mean, it's brilliant, brilliantly done. You're making critical thinkers of people.
Stephen Dix, go ahead, finish.
I got to share this.
Yeah, please.
It's
Kevin Killian. Is he Armenian?
He's dead. Selected Amazon reviews. It's one of the more impressive